Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Pipes, Tattoos, and Conversations. I'm Tattoo Piper. You know, I'm sitting out front in my front yard. Got the beautiful American flag above me. Got some hydrangeas behind me. It's starting to get toward fall, so their color's not popping as much as it was. It's a lot different sitting out here than it is sitting over there. A lot different. It's a little bit interesting. I feel more exposed out here. Like, people are probably... Oh, dropped my tamper. Sometimes you lose your tamper. Well, it's somewhere down here. I don't really need it, but yeah, I feel like people are probably staring out their windows like, what's he doing? What's he doing out there? You ever get that feeling like people are just watching you, even if they're not? Smoking some Escudo in my, whatever this is, apple. You hear that? So we live on or near a Navy base where I work, and that trumpet you can hear in the background is lowering the flag, playing taps. But anyway, I'm smoking some Escudo in this beautiful corn cob, whatever model this is, Apple Diplomat, I don't know. But the one thing I don't like are these stems. As you can see, the condensation shows in there when you're smoking them. So I don't think I'll get any more of these amber stems. I'll be getting the black one from now on. But Escudo, it's a very good smoke. It's a vapor, Virginia Perique, rolled into coins, and you know, you got to rub it out or fold in stuff and pack your bowl, but smokes very well. It's actually one of my favorite tobacco blends to smoke. Definitely smokes cool. Has a little bit of a cigarette-y taste to it, but I kind of like that. I came from smoking cigarettes and really heavy cigars and stuff like that into pipe smoking, and I still love that cigarette-y taste. And so blends like Escudo or even over-the-counter blends, you know, Prince Albert, Carter Hall, stuff like that, they may have a little bit of a topping on them, but they still have kind of a cigarette-y vibe. I love Haunted Bookshop. I love Old Joe Krantz. Just stuff that's like that, you know, very nice, moderate burning tobaccos. They appeal to me. But yeah, I feel a little interesting, a little weird sitting out here in my front yard instead of over there in the garage, where I can kind of close the garage down and make my videos and not be bothered, you know, think somebody's watching me or whatever. But yeah, you know, I've got some great coworkers at work, and that's one thing I find in pretty much every job that I've ever been to, is that the coworkers really make or break your job experience. And I was just over at a coworker's house the other night, and we were working on his motorcycle. Great guy. And yeah, we were working on the taillight of his motorcycle and having a few, you know, drinks of whiskey and just chilling and talking about stuff. And I find that when you can do that, when you can connect with your coworkers and you can do stuff outside of work with them as well, it really lends or adds, I guess, it adds to your work. It adds to the, what would you call it? the quality of your work and your work experience. I find that's, that's great. If you go to work and you constantly run into a coworker that's just always down, always unhappy, always upset, miserable, don't like their job, it makes your work experience miserable. And then you want to ask them, just why are you working here? If you don't like it here, why are you working here? And luckily, I don't have anybody at my work or in my shop anyway that thinks that way. They are all very, very happy and very want to be there. There are times when, of course, we don't want to be there if there's no real work going on, and all it is ticky-tack stuff that nobody wants to do. And some of us are like, well, maybe we should just use leave and head home, But for the most part, when we're there, and we're having a good, fun time. And working together, especially on a project, and you're working with people that do have fun at work. And I'm not talking about horseplay and goofing around. I'm just talking about being able to work together and be happy in your work. There's nothing like it. This Escudo is absolutely amazing. I first heard about it from Jay Furman, actually. And I sent him a message on Discord one time and said, why didn't you tell me about this sooner? I absolutely love it. It's fantastic. I love sitting out here. Do you guys have like a spot that you just love to sit and hang out and just look at stuff? So off my back deck, which I'll do a video out there at some point too when it's not so freaking hot. It's been up in the upper 80s this week, and it is just too hot to sit in the sun and smoke a pipe. But off my back deck, there's a view of the mountains and everything back there. It's great. But out front here, it's extremely beautiful. The people around here take care of their yard, they take care of their property, and I'm in between, our neighborhood and the next one over. There's a fence and then this line of trees, which I can actually turn this around and show you guys. See, there's a line of trees and a fence, and people really do take care of it here, and it looks really nice, and it's cool just to kind of sit and every year you get to see the way the trees are growing, the way they're changing, the limbs, the way they're changing, how they're getting cut. And yeah, it's beautiful just to sit out here and just think about stuff, smoke your pipe, just kind of stare up into the blue sky and chill. Everybody, I believe, should have a spot like that. Everybody should have a spot where they can just go. They can relax. They can think. They don't have to worry about anything. They don't have to, stress on stuff. They can just decompress. And everybody needs that. Everybody needs to decompress, and they need that solitude and that time for themselves just to reflect. And we live in a society where we don't take time to reflect. A lot of times we're on go, 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 go. We're running around. We're doing whatever. We're taking kids to soccer, cooking dinner, and there is a lot of days where I don't get to reflect because of that, because it's always kids or family or, stuff going on. But whenever I can, I like to sit down, even if it's just in my garage, and have that time of reflection. Sit down and chill and just relax. I had a buddy passed away about 6 or 8 months ago, and I did a video, maybe it was close to a year ago actually, and I did a video about it. And the next morning after he died, I had no idea that he had passed away, but I saw this beautiful sunrise on my way to work. And then I got to work, and I even took a video of it and put it at the beginning of that video. And I got to work, and somebody had told me he passed away. And it was like that sunrise was there for that reason. And somebody even on YouTube had commented on that. They said it was like he was telling me that he's in a better place, even though I didn't know that he had passed away. But he was one of those guys who, he had his wife, and his daughter had passed away before him, which was really sad. But he was one of those guys who loved to go fish. And every weekend, he would take his boat out one day, and he would go fish. And he would take his friend, and they would just go out and they would go fish. And then he used that time for reflection. That is how he found his center, was fishing out in these beaver ponds and these lakes that he loved to fish. And that's actually how he died. He had a heart attack in his fishing boat and fell over the side and drowned, but which is inevitably counter to what I was just saying about relaxing in the fishing boat, obviously. But yeah, that was his solitude. And then every Sunday, he would take his wife and they would go do something together. And he found solitude in that, just spending time with his wife and, going to the beach or going to get food or, just hanging out and watching a movie, whatever it was. That was what he really liked to do. And I think everybody needs that. If you don't have that in your life, I encourage you to go out and find that. Go out and find that solitude. Wherever it is, even if it's in your front lawn, your driveway. I'm in my driveway right now. And even if it's there, just sit down and take a few deep breaths and breathe and reflect on how you're doing in life. Are you being a good husband? Are you being a good father, a good wife, a good son, a good daughter, a good grandpa, grandma, whatever it is? Are you living to your full potential in those areas? Now, we don't always have to live to full potential in making money or anything like that. As long as we're semi-comfortable, that's fine. I've never been one to chase money. But just being a good person and being a good representative of how a person should be, I think that's very important. And reflecting on that. How are you doing in those areas? Anyway, it's kind of my little message for today. I know it was kind of all over the place, but this is my first conversational video, and I'm not really sure. I don't really do these that much, so I'm kind of working my way into it. And I guess these topics are really easy topics to talk about, but yeah. Anyway, be blessed, my friends. Have a great week. You can hear that motorcycle. I love motorcycles. I'll talk about that in a future video. We live right on a road that's right behind these houses over here, and there's roundabouts, and sometimes people will play the roundabout game where they just go in a circle around the roundabout, and they're not drifting, but because the roundabouts are so tight, the tires squeal a little bit, and you can always tell when it's a dad or a mom, and they're taking their kids in the car and just going around the roundabout for fun, But I love hearing motorcycles pass by and wondering where they're off to, what adventure are they going on, they could just be going to get food or something, but I like to envision that they're going somewhere. They're going to, camping or hiking or, maybe to a motorcycle rally or something like that. I just like that. So it's really cool. Some people wouldn't want to hear all that noise, but I love hearing the motorcycles go by. Just takes me back to my days when I used to just get on the bike and go. No idea where I was going, wind up wherever I wound up, meet new people. Yeah. It's beautiful out here. The sky's kind of, I'm a little colorblind, but from what I can see, the sky's kind of a periwinkle blue right now. Of course, I'm on the front side of the house. The sun sets on the back side of the house, so it's really nice and kind of cool right here. I think it's still about 70, 79, 77 to 79 degrees. Still a little bit too warm for me, but at least it's not 90.